The landing on Earth of an alien in human form was first documented in 1957. His name was Valiant Thor. Val landed a small craft in a farmer's field in Virginia. He and his crew were met by two police officers from Alexandria who drew their weapons. Commander Val avoided conflict. He communicated to the officers his true intentions without speaking a word. Instead, he used telepathy. Valiant Thor requested a meeting with the leader of the free world, who was also a hero of the Second World War, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower. But the space emissary was brought first to the Pentagon for examination by the military. His uniform, which was all of one piece, was confiscated. He was provided with clothing made in America. The bright silver spacesuit was then tested separately. Even though his boots were part of the single-piece uniform, the garment weighed in at only 6 ounces. The fabric was unknown. It withstood every attempt to penetrate it. The material had no seam and could not be cut by shears or knife. The military doused it with acid, which rolled off the uniform, burning a hole in the floor. It resisted being drilled with a diamond bit, which snapped in half. A high-velocity round was fired into it from a fixed rifle. The garment was not pierced. Val looked like a man, at 6 feet tall and 185 pounds. He was given an army physical. He had 6 fingers on each hand. His heart was twice as big as a man's, and his blood was based on copper rather than iron. One lobe of his lung was much larger than the other. They tried to inject him with scopolamine, which was a truth serum. Instead of breaking the skin, the point of the needle broke. The space emissary claimed a lifespan of 500 years. Val could speak 100 languages fluently, some of which were alien languages. The Army estimated his IQ at 1,200. In comparison, Albert Einstein had an IQ just over 160. The only way to get any information out of Valiant Thor was to grant him an audience with the President. He spoke with Eisenhower. He met Vice President Richard Nixon and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Val was a representative of an intergalactic High Council. The Council was concerned about the proliferation of nuclear weaponry on Earth, in that the next World War might lay our planet to waste. He agreed to assist the United States space program. A furnished apartment at the Pentagon was provided for the alien visitor, where he lived for 3 years. His door was guarded by 2 Air Force military policemen, but Val and his people have the ability to pass through walls or to travel great distances in the blink of an eye, vanishing from one place and rematerializing in another. In 1958, Commander Val and 3 of his crew members, who had taken the names Jill, Don, and Tanya, attended as a group a modest UFO convention held at the residence of Howard Menger in Highbridge, New Jersey. At this gathering, several photographs were taken of the extraterrestrials, both in black and white and color. They wore period clothing in an effort to fit in at the human gathering. These pictures came to the attention of Frank Stranges, a Christian evangelist, who used the photographs in his lectures as proof of the existence of alien beings who also believed in God. At one lecture, he was approached by a sympathetic Pentagon employee, Nancy Warren, who arranged for meetings between Stranges and Commander Val. The preacher would release 10 years later his account of these meetings in his book, Stranger at the Pentagon. Frank Stranges was not the only witness to the presence on Earth of Valiant Thor. Upon the arrival of the emissary from space, he was processed by the nephew of Admiral Richard E. Byrd, Harley Byrd, who between 1957 and 1963 worked for the Department of Defense in a supporting role on Project Blue Book, the Air Force program created to investigate civilian reports of UFOs.